The orca whale is an iconic symbol of the Northwest, one of our region's most precious natural resources.
And while they may seem like a powerful and thriving species, the truth is the southern resident killer whales are in great danger.
Tonight, Dana Rebick joins us for part one of her investigative series, taking a look at why these whales aren't doing well. And Dana, there's a big disagreement over that.
There is. Many people agree that these whales are not doing well, but what people are not seeing eye to eye on is exactly why. The whale watch season just wrapped up in Washington, and you may have even taken a trip to see the orcas yourself this summer. But what you may not have known is that by doing so, researchers say we could be loving these whales to death. The killer whale is one of nature's most powerful and majestic animals. The king of the ocean, a living symbol of the Northwest. From the islands to the streets of Seattle, their image is everywhere, and the hard truth is they are dying. The top-level predator in the sea. Adult males weigh up to 9 tons and can swim 30 miles per hour. They live in every ocean, all over the world. Some are known as transients, regularly migrating from one region to another. Others are residents, living primarily in one place year-round. The Pacific Northwest is home to 3 pods of southern resident orcas, J, K, and L.
There's 78, 79, 80, all the way up until 2002 or 3, when digital came along. For example, this CWR.
For the average person, it can be difficult to tell these whales apart, but not for Ken Balcom with the Center for Whale Research in Friday Harbor.
The males conveniently have a tall dorsal fin. The females have a smaller fin, less tall, and they also have a saddle pattern.
For the last 35 years, Balcom and his team have been tracking our resident pods of southern killer whales, giving each animal a name based on which pod it belongs to. Today, the news isn't good.
Well, right now, we have 4 missing. You're the first to know about the 4th. We had K11, L73, L74, and now J33. All of these are adult animals, so this is somewhat concerning.
3 of those missing whales are breeding age males, critical to keeping the population going. That's a serious issue because while there were once hundreds of southern resident orcas swimming the waters of Puget Sound, now there are fewer than 90. Only 25 of breeding age, and many of those are starving.
When you get a depression behind the skull, which is the body fat in this area, you sort of have this valley, and we call it a peanut head. They rarely recover from that. Usually by the time you see that much emaciation, loss of fat, body fat, blubber, they're beyond survival. You know, they may make it 2 weeks.
Are any of the 4 that are missing right now, did they have that appearance at all?
Well, we're looking back at all the photographs that we've seen of that. We saw hints of it.
Scientists at the University of Washington have reached the same conclusion following a very different kind of research.
So this is killer whale feces, frozen.
At the Center for Conservation Biology, a specially trained dog named Tucker sniffs out orca poop near San Juan Island, which is then collected and analyzed.
You can tell the species, sex, individual ID from the DNA, and then you can see, is the animal stressed? Is it getting enough food?
We're seeing higher stress during times of low prey abundance, and we're also seeing lower nutrition, especially in years where we have higher mortality.
Does that prove you think that they are starving?
It certainly suggests that that's probably something to do with what's happening.
Starvation is one of 3 factors contributing to the diminishing orca population here. Chinook salmon are the southern resident orca's primary food source. But while the Columbia River Basin was once teeming with millions of Chinook, the National Marine Fisheries Service estimates there are only around 30,000 left. Number 2 is pollution. Salmon are heavily contaminated with toxic residue from their environment. The whales eat those fish, and the pollutants are filtered out into their blubber. Without enough to eat, those chemicals can affect their health.
When you starve, you burn fat and you dump them into the system and you whack your immune system. You start shutting down critical hormonal pathways.
The third and most controversial threat to the orca's survival comes from one of the most vibrant tourism industries in Washington, whale watching.
Oh my God, this is going right under us.
Leading some to wonder if we are not, in fact, loving them to death.
There is a growing body of scientific literature that's actually documenting the impacts that boats can have on the whales.
Orcas are acoustic animals who use clicks, whistles, and calls to communicate, define their environment, and find food. Their hearing is so sensitive they can communicate with other members of the pod across many miles of ocean. But when so many boats are in the water, their engine noise disrupts the process.
We are mostly concerned about behavioral disturbance from boats and also the sound that boats make and how that could interfere with the whale's communication or ability to find food.
In 2005, orcas were added to the endangered species list. Those protections specifically prohibit, quote, any act of pursuit, torment, or annoyance, which has the potential to injure a marine mammal in the wild, or has the potential to disturb a marine mammal in the wild by causing disruption of behavioral patterns. And yet these creatures are relentlessly pursued from May to October by whale-watching crews from the U.S. and Canada. Their locations reported by professional orca spotters whose job it is to tell whale watch crews exactly where they are.
With a lot of noise in the environment, it would be like people with the lights off. Being in the dark, not being able to see what's around you.
Lynn Berry with the National Marine Fisheries Service says motor noise from whale watch boats and other vessels constitutes enough of a threat to the orcas that the agency is drafting additional rules to keep them farther away from the animals as part of its species recovery plan. The question is, will it be enough? Every scientist we spoke to agreed unless something is done, and soon, these pods are headed for extinction.
There's not only a chance, it's almost a certainty. There goes probably our most charismatic marine animal we have. It's gone.
So tomorrow night we will go undercover on 2 whale watch boats to see if they're following the rules, and we'll also hear from the whale watch boat owners to get their take on this research.
All right, looking forward to it, Dana. Thanks.
Dana, thanks.